Applying for jobs takes a lot of work, and I'm going to show you how to use AI to make that process way easier. So cover letters are something that employers really love to see on your job application, but they take a ton of time to write. So that's why we're going to leverage OpenAI Playground to write out a cover letter for any job that you could find. So what I'm doing right now is I pulled a job from Indeed. I just grabbed the job description, then we're going to go and prompt OpenAI to write a position or a description of the position in a cover letter and say, hey, I want you to write a cover letter for a job. Here's the information about the position. And then we copy and paste all that in. And then on the side here, we're just going to tweak some of the settings here. Turn the maximum length up to 804, frequency penalty up to 0.6. Actually, I'll turn it up a little bit higher. Presence penalty and best of up to 20. And then we're going to hit submit. The AI is going to think up what a cover letter could look like for this job. And then we're going to proofread it, and then we're going to use it to apply for this job. So we're waiting for this to generate. And if we don't like what it outputs, we can just erase it and just hit submit again. It's that easy. So we have all this free access right now with OpenAI if you're looking at it right now. And we can generate things like this. So we have this, we have this template right here. And we do have a couple things wrong off the bat. So the job description was the ETL developer, okay? And let's see, I'm gonna put that right back over here. And that said data and analytics developer at Citizens. Okay, so we do have a couple other things correct here. I think some of the requirements about working with SQL Server, Oracle, I think I read those in there. And it says, hey, please feel free to contact me with a phone number. You can put your phone number in there. And highly satisfied companies. Okay, we're going to run this again. So on the second run through, this is just going to give us another pass at what we already have here available. And what we will think about is like, hey, do we need this? Do we not? Do you get some of the things right so we can kind of copy and paste some things over that are good? But I'm going to take another swing and just see if we can get a better cover letter out of it. And honestly, what we can do here, I've made another video about this, about how you could use ChatGPT to do the same thing. OpenAI Playground has a little bit more of a refined output, and it's a little bit better for longer form in my experience. Now, with that being said, you can just tap into both and then have like a Word document open where you then, put together the rest of everything here. So it is up to you. I do highly suggest though that you kind of tweak things and play around with it and move forward in that manner. So I just got this output, which I do like, but I want to ask the chat or not the chat, but I want to ask OpenAI to change around a little bit of how it's doing. So I'm going to add this additional prompt. I'm going to ask it to make the letter sound passionate and for it to use powerful language. So we're going to see if that will come through, if it will sound more like passionate and less dry and robotic, if it has a little bit more oomph and energy behind it. So one cool thing about this is you can iteratively prompt the AI to kind of change the way that it's engaging with you. So if you don't like what you got from it, you can say what you don't like about it. And you can say, hey, can you change this? Can you add more of this or that? Great, so let's look at the verbiage in here. So off the bat, I'm seeing, I want to express my interest. I believe I have important skills. It resonates deeply with me. Oh, wow. Lending property insurance protection to those who are unable to receive it from private markets is a noble cause that plays perfectly into my personal values of public service and integrity. Furthermore, being part of the same workforce committed to responding quickly, rewarding. Wow, that's pretty great. Awesome. So the technical background hits on everything that is in the requirements. And let's see where else it says. Awesome. And I would change this a little bit here. Thank you for taking the time out. Excellent consideration. That'd be kind of weird. And we change this like to consider my application. Sincerely yours, and then throw your name on it. So anyhow, that is how to write a cover letter using OpenAI Playground. I hope that this was helpful to you. If it was, go ahead and hit a like on that YouTube video. It does help the algorithm know that this content was valuable. It's much appreciated, and have a good one. Thanks for watching. All right, I'm going to show you how to write a real estate rental listing for a property. We're going to pull some information off of a Zillow listing. I just pulled a condo out in somewhere in New York and just sort of went through and grabbed some of the information off of that. I try to keep away from anything that wasn't just the bedrooms, bathrooms, and then just kind of the overall specs, because you see that somebody did write a bit of a description here. But honestly, if this house has been listed before and there is some sort of description already here that you can use for the property, what we can do is we can take that and we can actually use it to remix it with the AI. So I'm going to show you how that works. So I'm actually going to say just use this, paste that in. Cool. And I'm going to ask OpenAI Playground, openai.com, hey, can you write out a rental property listing? Here is some of the information about the property. Specs, features, old description, rent price. We're going to hit submit, and then let's see what it comes up with. So over here on the right hand side, if we don't like what we get, we're going to tweak some of these to see if we can change what our output is. But let's see what we got. All right. Ultimate Upper East Side living, lovely balcony. I think that was from the last one. 24-hour doorman. Call the day to schedule viewing. Call to action at the end. We're doing great, right? But let's actually go ahead and turn this temperature all the way up. I'm going to turn presence penalty up a little bit right there. You can look at these to see what they kind of do. Ultimately, all I really understand about these fully is that if you change them, you get a little bit of a different output depending. Mostly what impacts it is adding in stuff in here. Okay, this is cool, but I'm going to say right here, can you use fancier words and make the part sound more exciting? And then that will just tell the AI, just like a human being, to use fancier words and make the apartment sound more exciting. So we're going to see if it does that. Wow, magnificent 3-bedroom. Breathtaking views. Modern elegance. Wow. Fabulous wet bar. Enhance your comfort. Wow, we really got some excellent phrasing in here. So anyhow, I think this is a knockout listing for a rental. So if this helped you out at all, please go ahead and hit that like button. It helps tell YouTube that this video was helpful to you, so it can be helpful to others. It also helps my channel out. I appreciate you watching this, and have a good one. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use OpenAI's Playground chat generator to actually formulate a custom fitness plan with 3 months of workouts, a daily nutrition plan. Yes, this is something that a lot of personal trainers charge up to, several hundreds of dollars per month. This one site is $179 monthly. And what we're going to do is see if we can get the AI to actually give us this for free. So what we're going to ask is, hey, can you give us a fitness and nutrition plan? I am this old. I weigh this much. This is kind of what I do now. Could you give me a weekly routine that accounts for an hour-by-hour schedule? I work 9 to 5. I need some time to get to and from work, so don't make it too unrealistic. And then can you explain in detail what I should be eating? 1 or 2 suggestions for a meal. Can you also give me 3 months worth of workout plans? So you're going to want to set the settings on the side, something like this, and then just go and put your cursor in the white area down here and then hit submit. Now you can tweak all these settings on the side while we're waiting for this. Temperature, I like to turn that up. It kind of makes things a little bit more interesting in the text. Maximum length, you don't want to turn this up too high. This is what determines how many tokens you spend to actually output, or when I say tokens to spend, it's how many tokens are generated. That's basically like how much computation the AI is outputting to do that for you. Now, one important thing, right? So we have a pretty great breakdown here. We got something to look at, but we're not done yet. So our cursor is still sitting down here. Saturday and Sunday. We're just going to hit submit again. So the maximum length of tokens that was spent was only 690. So we're going to get a lot more than that. So down here, I like to turn best of all the way up because that determines how much the algorithm kind of goes back and forth with itself to determine what to output for you. So big fan of that one. Now frequency penalty, it stops it from being repetitive and too machine-like. And for instance, I'm actually seeing a little bit in here where it's just like broadly like strength training, hit. It's not suggesting any specific workouts to me, and so I kind of think that I'm gonna want something like that to go away and get a little bit more detail out of it. So I'm actually gonna go back here. I'm gonna delete the whole thing. And so it didn't work out perfect the first time, but the great thing is you can just re-ask for something new. So like what I didn't like in that, I'm going to say, can you also include specific workouts that I should do? Can you summarize this into a compact plan? So that way it's not so much text and it's a little bit more condensed, but I also want it to include the specific workouts, because when it's saying strength training, that doesn't really help me. That's not exactly what I'm looking for. So if you don't like what comes out of here, you can pretty much just throw it away and then just submit for some new information to come through. So let's see what it has now. All right, cool. So we got a day broken down here on Monday, and then it just has Tuesday through Friday do the same thing. And then it has Saturday and Sunday, and for 3 months, then it goes in and it says, okay, let's do this. Now it needs to be laid out a little bit better, but that's okay because we can come in here and we can just kind of click and move those down, indent those. Great. So we have pretty much a full breakdown of a plan here, and this is looking pretty good, even though the formatting could be modified a little bit. But I'm literally just going to go turn the best of up and the temperature down a little bit, and literally just submit again until I just really love what I'm seeing. So it's a signal to the algorithm that you want something different when you fire off again and again and again and again and say, hey, give me more and more information. And it's all about the prompt. So whatever you don't like about it, you can just type right here in this prompt area what you want, like it's a human. See, it even had a little bit of personality in here. Great. And then the nutrition plan. So it says, hey, here's a whole breakdown of kind of what you could go after. You know, grilled chicken with sweet potatoes, avocado slices, you know, boiled eggs over toast, a couple different ideas. And what we could do separately is we could ask it for a nutrition plan that has a full outline of like what meals should be given. So we could say that this is good. Right, we could say that we like this, or we could combine some of the output, and we could say, please give recipes for all, I can't spell recipes, recipes, dang, anyhow, I'm just going to not spell recipes right, and just see if it knows what is up. Recipes for all of the food suggestions. There shouldn't be a question mark after that. Let's submit. And it knows what I'm saying there because I can't remember I before E, all that stuff right now. It's too late and my coffee was like 6 hours ago. So anyhow, this is going to spit out something here. Let's see if it does do something with the recipes for the food suggestions. And it does. Okay, so it's actually breaking down into the eggs. And interesting, scrambled eggs oatmeal bowl. So I think that means like those are separate, but that's cool. And it's not done yet. But so here's your weekly routine. I like this one a little bit more. It's a little bit more clean. It has a 9 p.m. bedtime, nice and early. That's awesome. So no partying with this one. And great, so we got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I wonder if it'll give us a snack. We're just waiting on this to load and see if that comes out. But we've ultimately like ran this about 4 times just to see what it would give us fully. Oh wow, cool. So it's saying, hey, let's go ahead and give you that 3-month workout plan, right? And then it has workouts in here, 3 sets of 12 reps, squat jumps, lunges, all these different things, right? And we could even do something where we take this we copy and paste this entire thing in here, and we could say, hey, can you explain every single one of these workouts? And that's something kind of for an additional, just a suggestion if you go and do this. But know that you could copy and paste this out, and when you're done with it, you just save this prompt for later if you need that, if you want to regenerate this. And then you could copy and paste in all of these exercises and say, hey, can you explain to me what a lat pull down is? Can you explain to me what a tricep push down is? Can you explain to me what a shoulder press is? Can you explain to me what a barbell row is? And it could and will do that. So here's actually the prompt that I wrote for that. I figure we'll just go ahead and do that. And so I said, can you explain each of these workout types, what the best form is, and how to select weights for each exercise if weights are included? So it's going to go through and look at all of these, and I just copied and pasted from the plan. So I just completely disregarded everything else. So where it says rest day Sunday, it's going to probably, and it looks like it did, recognize that that is not an exercise. Or rest day Sunday, you should exercise that once per week, but ultimately that is not a exercise. So yeah, so it gives a breakdown of exactly what you should be doing. It says, okay, here's how you do squat jumps, right? And it says it even recognizes what exercises need weights and which ones don't, and bicep curls, stand upright holding dumbbells by side with palms facing forward, then flex arm and elbow joint. I mean, it has everything that you would need to know about every single exercise that it gave you. So you could take that and include that into your workout plan, and you could just roll ahead with that. But anyhow, I think that's a pretty good breakdown of how we can actually get a full nutrition and workout plan. We could go even deeper with the prompts in Playground here. We could ask for more and more, and we would get it. So ultimately, I hope this has been helpful. I hope that you are successful on your fitness journey. I hope that you find new ways to use OpenAI. It's really interesting. Go ahead and explore this. But this is just one really, really useful thing, I think, that I wanted to show all of you. So anyhow, thank you for watching and have a good one. I'm going to show you how to ask AI to create a budget for you and basically a financial plan so that you can buy a house and save for retirement and things that people generally would pay somebody like a financial planner or somebody to build out for them, right? These are complicated issues, but you can use AI to just build this plan out for you. So I asked for a monthly budget. I said how much I make and what my rent is, and then I have a car payment of about X amount. I pay something on credit cards, and then I'm trying to save for a down payment on my first house. And then I'm asking for specifics. Can you provide me with a specific breakdown of how I can save to get a down payment for my first home? And then I'm, built in, I need to buy food and other things outside of what I mentioned. I don't know the exact amount. Can you provide me with some tips on how I might save for retirement as well while I'm doing this? And then can you tell me how much house I might be able to buy in a year with a down payment of 20%? So what we do is just go ahead and hit submit. And on the right hand side, feel free to tweak any of these settings. It's pretty much the essential ones are making the maximum length be turned up, because what we'll see here possibly is only a certain amount of text come out and it looks unfinished, and in which case we'll just hit submit again. But some of these frequency, presence, and temperature are good ones to turn up, and also best of, I like to turn that up. All right, cool. So monthly budget. So this breaks down all the expenses estimate, and then some savings, and then total expenses, and then remaining monthly income. And it says, okay, here's some retirement saving tips. Let's go ahead and look at this. And then it goes down here and says, in terms of what type of house you might want to be able to buy in 1 year with a 20% down payment with an average mortgage rate of 3%. You could potentially afford up to $270,000, $370,000 house, and that is with this income level. So that's actually really interesting. So I broke that all down. But let's say that I don't think that there was enough in here and I want to see something else. I'll just delete that, put my cursor down here in the white, hit submit, and we'll just see what it gives me again. Because basically running this more than once is sort of an indication to the AI that it's going to need to give you multiple inputs, and it wants something different. You're going to say, hey, no, that didn't work out. Let me have something different. And I'm just going to run this again because I think there's a little bit more left. Okay, great. I only had like 2 more sentences. But yeah, so this one, it's saying, hey, at this rate, if you save this much, then you could have, in 6 months, a down payment for a house in this range, right? Sorry, I was just trying to read it. But the weird thing is, it didn't really say the price range, but I think it kind of guessed it. And one thing too is it's saying just very broadly this number on interest rates. So I'm going to say interest rates right now are around 7.5%. And we'll see what it does with that new information. So I'm actually just going to go back, give the query there some information and say like, hey, just so you know, when you're advising me or telling me what amount of house I could buy, then you might want to think about that. Yeah, so it's saying if you bought a $200K house, $836 per month, with a 20% down payment, $40K, right? So saying you need to save $40K, and then let's see, where does it tell us? Okay, great. So it says savings for down payment on a house, $1,000. Some stuff about retirement, and then it's pretty transparent. It says in 1 year's time we get about $10K saved towards that down payment. So it tries to stay something optimistic here at the end, but and that's nice and everything, but about $10K, so you would need about 4 years to get to the level where you would need to be to go ahead and just buy this to $200K house. So if the 20% down payment was required. So anyhow, that is an interesting thing here. So we could say too, we can add in a variable. So I could say, can you tell me what my financial situation would look like if I got a new job making $70,000? And we'll just run that and see if it computes for both and kind of gives us a picture of where we're currently at and what would happen if we got the new job. And this is just an example of how we can get this sort of dynamic interaction with the AI to feed it new facts. It's like a conversation. So we're telling it, hey, maybe you want to consider this, consider that. And let's see, right? Cool. So it gives the income breakdown per month at both levels, right? And then it gives you total expenses, and then it says, hey, you have this monthly surplus, and then it's saying even how much your income has increased. And yeah, great. Cool. So it doesn't really talk too much about the exact amount of like home cost, but it does talk about like how much it would get there. So obviously, as you're saving for a down payment, that could kind of be dynamic, but we could go back and we could ask again. But one thing I'll do here is I'll actually just take this and delete it, and even though that was great, maybe turn some of these things around, and then let's see what it does like when I tweak some of those values. And I'm doing that mainly just to see what sort of interesting output we get, because it's pretty dynamic depending on how we change these right here. Cool. So it's actually pretty explicit. It might take you about 1.5 years. Cool. And then it's still suggesting a home price of about $20,000. Now you could put stuff in there like I need to buy at least a 3-bedroom house. So it's important to know that it can't like go scrape the internet necessarily for insight into the latest real estate market. It doesn't know like what is on Zillow right now in your area. It'll be really cool when AI on the web gets to that level where it can go and look for those type of things and give you that sort of very real-time dynamic output, but it does not have that right now. All right, cool. So yeah, so it's actually talking more about housing prices and then the mortgage rates. Yep. So it's giving us a little bit more information here, and there's a little bit more to finish, so I'm going to hit submit again just to run it at the end here. Yeah, and then all it said was, hope this helps, good luck. Great, yeah, but I mean, overall, this is a pretty comprehensive like budget based off of the information you gave it. And, you know, you could even say everything about, you know, hey, here's how much I made this month and here's how much I spent, like line by line. And you can copy and paste a lot in here, and you could see what it is, you know, what it's actually telling you, what it's actually, you know, doing for you. So with more detail, it can do more, I guess is what I was trying to say. But anyhow, I hope this was helpful. And if you want to check this out, go to openai.com and sign up, and then go to, it's either called Chat Generation or Playground. They're kind of interchangeable. You should be able to find on the home page, if you scroll down, there's like a place to click if they haven't updated the website yet. But anyhow, I hope that this that you go and do this, that you check this out and actually make this plan for yourself, because this is a really useful thing that you can do for free. And people do charge money for this, but AI is able to give it to us for free. But anyhow, have a good one, and thanks for watching. In this video, we're gonna let AI plan a road trip for us, and it's gonna be really fun. So we've got OpenAI Playground. It's a text generation AI tool. And what we're going to do is just ask it to do stuff for us, and then it's going to do it. So I've got this prompt in here that says, hey, can you suggest a road trip plan for me and my 2 friends? We want to travel up and down the East Coast of the United States for 1 week in the summertime. Can you suggest locations that we might want to stop at, places we might stay at, sightseeing we might do, hikes we might take, places we could eat, and a rough estimate on how much we should budget for the road trip. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and hit submit over here. On the right hand side, you can tweak some of these. The only really important one is the maximum length. I like to keep it around what I've got at now, about 690 is a comfortable number, because that's going to be how much text is actually going to output here. So we're going to let that do its thing. It's loading right now. It's going and planning a road trip. Super cool. And so great, it's actually going to go through, and it's I like how it said trip. It's interesting. All right, cool. So let's start by planning the route, and it's like, hey, you can go on I-95, and then it says, hey, you could start in Boston, DC, Virginia Beach, Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, or St. Augustine. So it's like plotting a path all the way down the East Coast. Very cool. And then it says, depending on your budget, you can do any of these. And it's like, hey, budget at least 100 per night. And then it says research each location, but we kind of want to chat GPT to do that for us. So next time I'm actually going to revise the query and ask it for links, but it's got some interesting ideas, historical sites. And then it's like, if you want to do some hikes, it listed a couple different hikes. Very cool. And then it says, hey, let's look at 50 to 100 per day. And then, yeah, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to annihilate that. We're going to get rid of it, even though it's really great. I'm just going to ask, can you give me links to any place that you mentioned? And say informational links to any place that you mentioned, because I don't want to Google this stuff myself. I want AI to do that for me, and Playground does have the ability to get you links, so that's really cool. And I'm also going to mention that we do want to know how much gas will be. So how much gas will or how much will gas be? I have a Toyota Camry that gets 3 mpg. How many miles would this road trip be? Cool. So we're just going to ask it just like as dumb human as possible. Like, I don't know, I got a Camry. How much am I going to pay in gas, right? Just something that just takes the brain power out of, you don't have to go and do any math and be like, oh, guys, we need to budget this much for gas. You don't need to do any of that. We're just going to see what the chat gives us. And so on the right hand side is worth tweaking these, right? To kind of modify these accordingly. One important thing is that when you have a sort of like broken or like unfinished thought down here, you're just going to hit submit again. It'll go ask for another 690 tokens, and it's going to go and push through that. And when I say tokens, I don't mean at this point in time any sort of like money or anything like that. Right now it's just a this is all like free, and like you saw, like I have a rate limit here, so I can only do a certain amount of requests per minute. So right now it's like 10 per minute. That is for free. And so let's look at this, right? So this is actually really cool. So it says day 1, right? Let's go from Shenandoah to Charleston, right? And so it's like, hey, gas estimate, gas estimate, gas estimate. That's really cool. It's a total estimated mileage for the week-long road trip. So this is something you could even just copy and paste into like a messenger group chat, or send out in an email, right? So it has some suggestions to just kind of drive around like Chesapeake Bay, like just go and do whatever. Yeah, and so it actually suggests some specific locations like Justine's Kitchen. I've never heard of that place. Alligator Soul Restaurant. And this is great, right? So it gives all the links to all of these places that I mentioned, and then it even gives links to the restaurants. What else could you want, right? So this is really, really great. And honestly, I'm going to stop here, but if you wanted to modify this, if you wanted to give it any more details on what you wanted out of this road trip, you could just put it in here and it would just plan it all out for you. So So I think this is a really cool way to leverage AI to do something fun and just go and just do something, right? So it's planning an itinerary. I couldn't have thought up anything better than this myself, and I would have been digging through Google and Yelp for just hours to figure out what I should be doing, but this figured it out in like 5 seconds, and this entire thing to show you this took like 5 minutes. So this is a really cool way to leverage just the power of AI. So it's really cool, and I hope this is helpful. And go ahead and in the comments let me know how the road trip goes if you take a road trip that is suggested by AI. Anyhow, thanks for watching and have a good one. So I'm going to use AI to write speeches automatically for me. So I'm going to give it a prompt and it is going to spit back a speech. So I'm going to use OpenAI Playground, which is just text generation software. And what the prompt is that I'm going to start with is, hey, can you write a speech for me? I need to make a speech for my high school graduation. I am the valedictorian. Can you make it last at least 3 minutes or about like 2,000 words? So I'm going to see what it gives us, and it's already going, right? So it's given a really nice but kind of generic valedictorian speech, but what I'm actually going to ask it is, for one, it didn't output everything, so whenever this happens, you're going to want to hit submit again and just keep your cursor at the end of where it was working, because it has a lot more to go. But you have this speech now, and we could throw this into word count, and we could figure out how many words it is and how long it'll last and all that stuff. We could say like, we could just go back to the prompt, delete all this, and we'll say like, could you add a joke? I'll say add an inside joke. All right, cool. So let's see if it adds the inside joke. Looking through it. Let's see. Finally, let's not forget to have a little fun. So I have to wait for just a second, and it's gonna go ahead and load back up here for me in a second. All right, so let's see. Oh, yeah. Well, so this is like the dumbest joke ever. And I'd like to leave you with an inside joke that many of you have heard before. What did the fish say when it hit the wall? Damn. That's a perfect high school speech joke. But okay, we're not done with this. I'm going to actually ask it to provide us with a different type of speech, and we'll actually add some more info, some different stuff. We're going to write a speech like we're the president. So I said, I am the president of the United States. China has just invaded Ukraine. We will send 50,000 troops in an immediate response and use space lasers to counter this horrible attack. All right, so let's see what it outputs, right? So this is obviously just a joke, right? But let's see. This cutting edge technology, right? This is a difficult time for Ukraine and the world. Thank you, and may God bless the United States. So hold on, I can actually go in here and I'm going to say, make it sound more formal and impactful. This is a dire situation, right? That one kind of seemed like every other speech. Wow, we come together today in a time of great sorrow is a great evil, right? Wow. This is pretty good. I'm telling you what, somebody at the White House is about to be out of a job for the speech writing, right? So, okay, let's do this. I'm going to take this and I'm going to actually add in something. I'm going to say, just like in the last one, I'm going to say include light-hearted joke for comedic relief. See how it puts the joke in here. Okay, so swiftly and effectively respond to the attack. I understand this is a time of great distress and anxiety, but I do want to make sure that I use this time to bring light and some comic relief to the situation. Therefore, they say laughter is the best medicine. So here's a joke. What do you call a fish with no eyes? An FSH. That one go over very well. because for one, this is a spelling based joke, so I'm gonna just delete all this and then actually see if it'll give another joke. But one thing about this is that you have a rate limit. So if you ever run into this, just wait for a second and then, or more specifically, probably a minute, because you can request about 10 times per minute. And so we'll just wait for this to come back. And while we're waiting, you can actually turn up best of. This makes it the best. And then some of these variables right here, I like to turn them up, and I actually like to turn up the maximum length to about in the 600s. That seems like a good range for me. All right, so we just got another speech as it just came back. So this one seems pretty good. Okay. This one doesn't really seem like a joke, but the presidential speech does say, hey, never forget the importance of laughter and humor when facing adversity head on. So this could definitely be what they call a gaffe with this war speech. But I wanted to see if it will come out with maybe a better joke. We can try it one more time and see what it does. But this is just kind of funny to see how the AI tailors itself every time you request it to do something new or give a new version. Just how it kind of it turns out. This one is ridiculous. This is off the chain. The joke in here, as Benjamin Franklin once said, in this world nothing can be said to be certain except for death and taxes and maybe Chinese invasions. Oh man, this is brutal. I gotta see if I can get a like a presidential emulator and then run this through and see if it'll come out with a fake speech. Somebody take this text and run it through and see if you can have a like Obama voice emulator come through and actually say that. This is funny. So yeah, imagine this rolling down the teleprompter. That'd be funny. But anyhow, you could print out a useful speech for school, and this one was just kind of for fun to just show where it could go. But overall, very, very interesting capability here. So definitely go check out OpenAI's Playground and see what it can do. It's really worth checking out. Thanks for watching. So really quickly, I'm going to show you how to make a quiz with AI. So let's say that you're a teacher or a professor and you want to generate a quiz for your students. I'm going to show you right here. It's only going to take a few seconds. We're going to go through and use the OpenAI Playground, and we're going to give it this text prompt, and we're just going to say, hey, can you build a 10-question multiple choice quiz for me on the information contained in this Wikipedia page on artificial intelligence? And we are going to have it right now. So it went and hit this Wikipedia page, and then it said, okay, what is AI? First question. What are some of the benefits? What are the following branches? Just all these questions right here. And if we didn't get all the questions, you see we're only up to question 6. We just hit submit again. On the side, tweak your parameters accordingly. I like to change this one, and temperature is good, and then best of is good. And we have all of these quiz questions now, and if we don't like them, we can just go through here. If we read through them and that is not acceptable, which sometimes that does happen, we can just go through, hit this again, and push it through. So we're waiting here to see if this will push out another quiz here. So it's working. It takes a few seconds. You only have a certain rate limit here. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's about 10 requests per minute. And yeah, we have some true or false, multiple choice. We have a variety of questions. So this can just generate for you infinite quizzes. So you can have different ones based off a variety of questions that are auto-generated by the AI. The next thing I'm going to ask it to do is to build a 20-question test with a comprehensive review and study guide on the information contained in that Wikipedia page on AI. So we're going to see if it will do that. So what we're looking for is 20 questions, and then we are looking for at the end here a comprehensive review guide. And so it looks like we just got the questions, and we do have some questions here. Now I'm gonna make a specific here. I'm gonna request that it make a 20 question test at the 7th grade level. Let's say that you're trying to teach middle school technology or something like that, computer science, and you want to convey basic information at that level, but you don't want to go to a college level, and this is not a coding class. Okay, so we got our 20 question test. We do have some answers here, pretty cool. Now we have some historical context here, just a variety of questions, but then at the bottom of this, I actually just asked it this. I added some spaces and said, can you make me a study guide for that test? And then it spit out the study guide, where it is now breaking that down in kind of slightly different language. We will have to kind of parse this out so that way it is not a big clump of text. But overall, we have a study guide and we have a test. And all of this took about 3 minutes for me to show you, explain the whole deal. All you have to do is go talk to the test, check out OpenAI.com, and if this video was helpful to you, please go ahead and throw a like on this video, subscribe for more content like this, and I hope this is helpful. Have a good one.